I kind of scares the hell out of me sometimes. Excuse my language. It scares me. It takes my breath away. Talking about this, like I have a lot of PTSD because of it, and it's hard. But these small things with little horns and sharp teeth, metal teeth, they were spraying me with hot water. They were calling me pathetic and no one loves me and showed me the time of my death. I felt these taste of roaches in my mouth. I was full of feces. They were laughing and joking at me. There's this evil voice was telling me, "Here, you're mine. You're pathetic. You're worthless. You're nothing to me. You're nothing to nobody." All of a sudden, that voice went away. There was a calm voice that said, "It's gonna be okay." Really soft. "Come here. It's fine. Don't worry."
The A.J. Parr Spiritual Journalist Podcast.
We are here with ELIAS Alonzo, better known as Eli, and he has an interesting NDE story he wants to share. So can you tell us how this started?
I never thought I would, share my experience, come back and share my experience. But I appreciate you letting me come on here and share it. A lot of people say it was a past life or it was something else. Okay, so in 2021, came down with COVID. Me and my fiance were out. We're getting ready for our weekly date. We're going to go to San Antonio to the Riverwalk. Our first time going to the Riverwalk, by the way. And so I got home. At the time, I was living with my mom and my sister and her kids and my daughter. So I got back home. They're like, "Well, we got something to tell you. We took a test. We're all sick. You might need to barricade yourself in the room." Not like that, but you might need to stay in the room and make your own food and everything. I said, "That's fine. I'll stay in the room." Uh, so I don't know how I got sick. All I know is I got sick, and when I got sick, I start coughing. You know, at first I thought, "Oh, it's nothing. I'll get through it." Um, Fevers came. The fevers didn't go. I thought, okay, day three. During the week I got worse. So my sister knocks at the door, and they're all better, mind you. They're all better than everyone else. They're like, "Well, we'll give you the food. You don't have to come out." My daughter got it as well, but she got better too. So I thought, okay, I'll hang in there. I was hurting, bro. At my age, I was really hurting. I I couldn't get up. Normally I have neuropathy pain because I'm disabled. I got in a car accident like in 2000 around there. So at that time I was disabled and everything else. I got disabled. So anyway, so my pain increased. I couldn't get up from the bed for the life of me. And my sister, I said, "Doors open." My lips were blue. She goes, "You need I'm calling the ambulance. You can't even breathe." And I'm like, I was just like coughing, coughing, and just couldn't breathe. And she goes, "Get your butt up, get your shoes on. Come on, let's go." So but life of me, I don't know how I did it. I got my shoes on. I couldn't walk. I could walk, but luckily my mom had a wardrobe in the hallway, so I held on to it. I got it there. My sister put um, a wooden chair, and I sat down. She had called the ambulance on her phone. I could not talk and breathe. I was almost out of it. I was going. Ambulance came. They let me on stretcher. Um, just they put me in the ambulance, and I was trying to call my fiance that I wasn't looking good, and that yeah I was not I was almost out of it. Just remember feeling the feeling of dropping my phone. You know, the worst thing about it is I was in the void, dark void. It was like a whooshing sound. It was fast. It was like real quick, speed of light. And you hear all these people, "Forgive me, God. I didn't mean to do this. Please forgive me." And you heard kids there too. And you could tell that they're from the 1800s. Some was 1980. Some was from 1920 on. And you could see their lives, what they did. I hit the floor, boom, hospital floor. I'm crawled up. I don't know if I'm crawled up, and all I know is I'm just bawling. I'm bawling with my hands my hands like this, like in the fetal position. I didn't actually feel when After I landed in the hospital floor, I didn't feel the pain. I didn't feel the floor. It just felt like nothingness to me. And I remember I was looking 360 degrees vision. I didn't have I didn't have that sensation of a neck. I didn't have a fist. It just I just looked from the back of me, the side of me. I saw them working on me. I was dead at the time. They brought me back. They were all like boom, boom, just with shocking mechanisms. Um, and so, sorry, I kind of get scares the hell out of me sometimes. Excuse my language. It scares me because it takes my breath away. Talking about this, but so there's this evil voice was telling me no one loves you. No, but with the voice, it was more like it had like a double voice to it. They're like, no one loves you. She left you. You know, they're just showing me all these fake visions. No one cares about you. Here, you're mine. You're pathetic. You're worthless. You're nothing to me. You're nothing to nobody. All of a sudden, that voice went away. There was a calm voice that said, "It's gonna be okay. It's fine." It moved me closer to my body. It was a peaceful, loving voice because I think God shielded the evil thing away from me because it was a liar. I'll say Jesus. I call him God. I mean, Jesus is God's, son. You know what I mean? I think they're one. You know, I think he was trying to reassure me, like I said, like everything's gonna be okay. That nothing's gonna harm me as long as I'm with him. It was a loving, caring voice. I took it like that. It was awesome. Like and then he was giving me visions. He was giving about other people that died in that hospital. He goes, calm down. He goes, look next to you. There is it looked like one of those little code holder things, for like postcards and stuff like that. And there was a phone, there was a gold phone, but in reality, my fiance was calling me. I didn't know that at the time. She was trying to get hold of me, and Jesus was telling me, he goes, look at that gold phone. That's your lifeline right there. Okay, that's who you live for, and your daughter and your kids. Okay, basically that. So he goes, okay, for now, everything's gonna be okay. And he was talking to me in a telepathy kind of way. Like it was not like I'm talking to you right now. It was mainly just through your head. So he was showing me, he goes, I'm gonna show you these things, okay? It's okay, don't worry, don't stress. All you gotta do is view. That's it. You're a viewer here. You're fine. So in all words, he told me that. In the feeling, he told me that. So then these nurses came in and took. I don't know if this is real or fake, but I was on another plane of they didn't care about me. These nurses just threw me on the floor and they laughed. My body, they threw my body on. I seen this like with my soul out of my body. I didn't feel the pain. They just threw me on the floor. I was full of feces. They were laughing and joking at me. And then Jesus goes, it's fine. Don't worry. He showed me other people that died in the hospital. One that was a maintenance guy. He was bald with glasses. He goes, you see that guy? He was a P. I don't say it online. He was a P. And he died in this hospital. He stays here. But he said Jesus said it with conviction. He goes, he's going to stay here until I come back and judge him. He goes, he can't see you, but he knows you're there. He sees you, basically. And then he showed me two other nurses that died there in their sin as well. They were injecting them with some kind of stuff with other patient with doctor. Well, I guess they're injecting people with stuff they're not supposed to. And they're like, they're going to wait there for me as well. So all of a sudden, Jesus goes, come here. In a little soft voice, come here. I'm on these pipes. The pipes were they were just sinking into my wrist. I could feel the hot steam, and all of a sudden these things were. I want to say things because I'm not going to give them their little name because I don't want them thinking that I'm giving them power or anything. But these small things with little horns and sharp teeth, metal teeth, they were spraying me with hot water. They were calling me pathetic and no one loves me, and showed me the time of my death. Like it was caged up. It was like a real like an old time clock. And all I hear is my mom saying, "How can we get his money out of the bank? How can we rip him off?" You know, it was all a lie. It was all a lie. So I'll get to that in a minute. So later about that. So oh, sorry, I'm out of breath a little bit. So it was hot, steam, heat. They threw me in a pod. I want to call a pod with these two other people. They knew I was there. I knew I was there. I couldn't talk to them. They were all full of. They were like a black silhouette. Both of them. The floor smelled like rotten egg. It was disgusting. There's one thing that God did take away when I was leaving that pod place called pod area. I couldn't feel my feet walking, but I was gliding. I had no control of where I was going. So I forgot about that. God just erased it off my mind. I mean, I think God took away a lot of fear when I came back to you. He was with me. He was with me through the whole experience. I could see them working on me. They brought me back. They put me into a ventilation. I had double pneumonia. I was at 10% of life. I was on a ventilator for a month. But I'll continue with my story. Okay, so have you ever seen? Man, I wish I would have. I was watching this movie I think like a couple months ago, and they were showing where when they die, they go to one episode. When they die, they go from one scenario to another, and one scenario to another. That was me. Okay, I'm just letting you know that's how it's gonna go. I can't control we can't control and where we're gonna go when you die. So sorry. Okay, I was gliding. I had no choice. My soul just glided into a formation, like a rock formation, a cave. And there was a Native American. He was fully entire, like with feathers in his hat and his head and everything, todo, you know. And so I could see him on the side of my vision, and he was sitting there Indian style. I was Indian style, but I was levitated. I couldn't. I'm not hitting the floor, and so he looks at the wall. There was nothing. You could feel like the rocks hitting your face and everything else, and he points, and he goes, "Do you see?" Basically, feel a feeling of "Do you see?" And the waters were so loving and caring. The trees talked to you like you were worth life, like love, caring. I mean, everything that love that your mother gave you, but that's more better than love itself from him. I mean, honestly, I teared up. Because I wanted to know more about that. I wanted to know more about that love and kindness and respect, and I mean everything that God wants to give you. You want to be him every day as much as you can, basically. So I was there. So all of a sudden it got dark. A Native American was laying on this ground, and I looked and I said, "Oh, what's going on?" All of a sudden, like this female comes in. She goes, "You need to eat." And I said, "I can't eat. I can't." Remember, I'm not talking to her. I'm talking to her through my mind. I can't eat. I'm on a ventilator. I can't. She was a white female, and she goes, "You have to eat something." And I said, "I can't. I'm on a ventilator." I told her, and remind you, I'm to telepathy. I have these nurses coming in, and they're like, Mr. Alonzo, we found a problem. We found a problem of why you're here. You know, basically like that. And they showed me this machine, and they were like, I don't know how they're talking to me. All I know is, you know, they're looking over, they're looking down my body, and they're talking to me. And And they're like, we found the reason why. So then they showed me a fake cloud, and they said, okay, this is how you died. You were leaving this grocery store called HEB, and when I was leaving, I was actually there. It's crazy. I was actually there, and I got hit by a car and I hit the cement. I could see it was a Mazda car. It was a fake death, and they're like, you hit your top of your head, and that's where we need to fix it, so you'll be okay. And then these things took me away, and I was stuck in this. I was stuck in this big trash can. I couldn't move. They tied me down. And they said the only way you can get out of it, you go hurt a person. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that. And very convincing little things. And they're like, all of a sudden, these cops came in. They're like, ha ha ha! You think we're gonna help you out? You're a pathetic liar. You're blah 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 blah. So then God was like, Jesus and God said, come here. Here goes Jesus over here. Come here. Really soft. Come here. I didn't want to go anywhere. Jesus goes, come here. It's crazy how he did. He's like, come here. He saved me from that. He saved me from that location. And all of a sudden, I'm in this house, and in this house, I smell the food, barbecue food, Mexican food. I see the sofas, and the people that live there. And I feel like I knew them in a time, in a lifetime in my life, but I didn't. All of a sudden, it glided me to a freezer, and there's this evil thing with the robe, and he's pointing down at me. He's pointing down at my dead body, and he opens the bag, and I had a ventilator in my throat, and he goes, do you want to see more? The way he talked. And then all of a sudden, I'm in this freezer, and I'm just gliding through pieces of dead meat, like like, it's, you know how in the freezer they have, like, in realistic, they got like meat and everything, like out in there and stuff like that, meat. But this time they had dead bodies in there, and all of a sudden when I got to the end, there was this little thing, was like he was sharpening his knives. He goes, do you want to be next? And all of a sudden Jesus goes, come here, Nash, come here. In a panic, he goes, come here. It's crazy. So then all of a sudden, I'm in this hospital room. I mean, nothing's working. I'm like, what's going on? All of a sudden, this white female with curly hair, with glasses, she comes in there. Instead of a room, it felt like it was a dance hall, basically. I remember throwing my braces on the stage. There was a fake stage there. There was these nurses working like that in the far distance. And this female comes in and she goes, oh my God, you made it. And I'm like, you're so famous here. You know, can't you feel the love? I mean, welcome. You can feel the love. You can feel that love. And all of a sudden, and this voice, a soft voice says, wait. And I was like, okay. And God muted her. God muted this girl, and she was just talking. And he goes, okay, in this dance hall, someone died. He showed me outside the wall where these two workers got murdered, and he goes, their life is not spared. They were having an affair at work, so they're here. Their soul is stuck outside, and in their last moments, this is how they felt. They felt that they were vindictive. They were. They thought they were doing right, and that's a no to me. So I will come back and judge them when I come back to this earth. So their soul is stuck on this plane to this day in that room. But I didn't know at the hospital that there was a place where all these doctors went. It was like it looked like that place, because I remember walking by it when I survived. Crazy. But anyways, so, and there was a stage as well. So I didn't verify about who they were and everything. I just thought, okay. So, anyways, so back to the story. God was just like he was just guiding me through everything, and to me, I was just like, you know that feeling where something's coming at you and you're like something like surprised, fear, loneliness, sadness. I mean, everything's impacting you at once, and I'm like, why? Why is God showing me this? Or Jesus? Why is he showing me this? The next vision I'm going to share with you is I went back to my hospital room, but it felt like a post office. I don't know why. It's the sensation of a post office. There was an elevator, and God was showing me that my mom and my sister were up to no good. They were doing something, and all I know is the post office manager was like, "I don't want nothing to do with this. I'm gonna call the cops. God, I'm gonna go. I don't care." So all of a sudden, like my mom tried to cover up, like, "Oh my God, Eli's here. He shouldn't know any of this what we're doing." And on all of a sudden, it goes quiet. It's a long story about everything else, but so everything goes quiet and everything else, and all of a sudden, I'm on the floor, and I'm on the hospital. I'm seeing this through my body. I'm on the floor, and I'm just looking back. I could feel him, the loving presence, and I seen his feet. That's all I seen, and it felt like he was leaving me. And I said, "God, I'm tired. I'm tired." I was like, "I can't do this anymore." When it's true what they say, when I hear a lot about people's NDEs and stuff like that. When God, when you're bare, you have nothing to hide. Your life and everything. You have nothing to hide at all. Like you're nude. He knows you. He knows your sin. He knows your worst nightmares. He knows everything. And he comes back to me. You could feel that you could feel the sombra. You could feel like the shadow of him in the back. And I've seen his feet. And it's not like one of these sandals what they have now these days, the kids wear. I'm talking about like old, very old. You could feel the sense of it. And he goes, he goes, "Wake up, get up, with authority, get up, get up." Family in Spanish, familia, familia, familia. And all of a sudden he shows a cloud, and it's my mom. And he's calling her by her child name that I didn't even know about. Okay. And he goes, "Stop walking away from him." He shows a second cloud. That's me in a wheelchair. He goes, "He needs you." He goes basically like that, basically in all words. "Stop walking away from your child." And she didn't listen. No, man, she didn't listen. All of a sudden, there was this native beat, like a music beat, and they were like native horns, like native trumpet horns. They're like, it was so beautiful, AJ. It was the most loving caringness. It was like a beat that I cannot make out. Like, I mean, it was loving and caring. It was like the most love you could ever feel. And he goes, "Get up, get up, get up, get up." Authority, AJ, authority. Like God was just like, "Get up." All of a sudden, I felt these taste of roaches in my mouth getting up, and they like, "Hurry, hurry!" All I hear is, "He's waking up. I can't believe it. Get him." 5% chance of life. I woke up. That's like the lowest of the ventilator can give. And they start taking all tubes out. I start breathing. They're like, "No way." I could see the doctors going like stunned. Like, how? They were going to disconnect me, AJ. That's it. They check my lungs. It's clear. I check it every year. It's clear, AJ. Nothing. I have no brain fog. Here's the weirdest thing is I know every detail of the other side than I do like memories of different things. But yeah, but yeah, you know how you forget about like different things you do in your life in the past. This one, you know every detail. You can actually sit there and go, "Oh, I remember that." But yeah, it's weird. But when I woke up. I couldn't move my arm, my right arm, my left leg was weak. I couldn't even lift my head up from the pillow. AJ, I was on a walker, a wheelchair. Now I'm on one cane. It's like an elbow crutch cane. That's it. I mean, that's God. I mean, I remember waking up. AJ, I was crying on that hospital bed. I was crying, and I mean, I was under delirium a little bit. I was not gonna lie. When I woke up, I was delirium. That's normal. Um, and it freaked me out one time. I was I was a hospital bed, right? And they were tilting me up, right? And also, I feel like the energy, how the electricity goes down out in your house, that went off. TV went off, and the feeling of being lonely, like I was alone. And this little girl goes, "I'm here in this room." Now I got a story about that. I heard from another doctor. They were just over talking, and she goes, "Yeah, the other nurse that takes care of him don't want to be in there long because that's where her daughter died." Yeah. There was this one. I'm gonna tell you another one too. Um, when I was on the other side, there was this nurse. She was always good to me. She would come over here. She would pat me right here in the chest. I remember it. I remember seeing a out of body experience, and she would always talk about her boyfriend moving to Kyle, Texas, and she didn't want to move there because they had to live in the boonies, like in the woods, and she would always complain about it. So when I came back, because they gave me a trait to talk, because I have the little trait where they could feed me. That was the problem right there too, AJ. They told me that I wouldn't have made it. That's why they didn't want to put a trait there. So they did it anyways. So they gave me a little thing called, I can't remember what it's called. It's a little where we could talk on it. And I told her, I went, "Ma'am," I was like, "Are you enjoying your house in the woods in Kyle in the boonies?" She goes, "How did you know that?" I was like, "Because I seen you talk about it. You were always talking to me when you were cleaning me and everything, and you talked to me about your husband. His name was Jason. There was a family emergency the other night before I woke up." She goes, "How did you know that?" I mean, it's unreal. I could tell you a lot more. My dad was a pastor, a Pentecost pastor. He was always traveling, was an evangelist. He always taught us about heaven and hell, but he never taught us about the in between. I feel like I was in this place where I was in this waiting period. I was in how do you say it? I call it waiting period. I'm not gonna go on about that, but so I was there. So God wanted to decide if I was gonna each one way I was gonna go, hell or heaven, and God, my dad never talked about that. My mom was a real Christian too. They had their own faith. They had their own faiths. They left whatever to each other. My dad died last year. I always say is God is good, and be right by God in your own way, and He's real.
It seems like you had a rather distressing NDE or even hellish.
I even have nightmares because of it. I mean, there's other things I have nightmares about. So.
So, how did you process this once you came back? Was it hard for you? And when did you learn about near death experiences?
When I came back, I start sharing my story, like 10, 15 times. And I just looked it up. Like, I mean, I honestly, I don't know. Like, honestly, like, I feel like God took away my pain. Like, it's weird, AJ, because I think He gave me a gift where it's a knowing. Like, I know when things are going to happen. Like my dog dying. I told my fiance he's gonna live at older age because God showed me that too. About this, he was gonna grow a stripe back. I shouldn't have said that he passed, but even the dog. But I know, I just know. Like like my kids try to scare me, and I don't get scared. But like, you know what I mean? Like God takes away that fear. Even with nightmares, he takes that fear away. He goes, you know, like I have a lot of PTSD because of it, and it's hard. And he's still with me. I mean, I'm human still. I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna enjoy, like, you know, drinking a lot of soda, drinking a lot, or, you know, whatever God says, you know, like overeating or whatever, overeating or whatever, or listening to, you know, like scary stories, or or stuff like that. You know, like not supposed to, but still, like at the same time, it's like there's certain things that I know that God prepares me for, and he tells me, and I feel something's gonna happen, and I know, and it's weird, but that's why I don't talk about it, because I know. That's why I told my fiance, I was like, everything's gonna be okay. She goes, why? I was like, I can't tell you. I can't. You know, it's just a feeling.
If someone is interested in contacting you, what should they do?
Well, I got my email. It's lowercase. It's Alonzo. It's ALONZO 694 at gmail.com. Or I got a Twitter at eFamily1983. And thank you for believing in my journey and letting me talk about this, because I never thought I would be here alive to even talk about it. Thank you.
This has been the AJ Parr Spiritual Journalist Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe.